Football's a simple game, right? There's always been a direct correlation between who spends the most money and who's at the top of the league. The people who spend the least money tend to be at the bottom of the leagues. There will be the odd one that bucks the trend. But basically, the team with the most expensive players sits at the top. It's easy to see why. You spend the money, you get the best players. They have the best technique, so on and so forth. It's easy. We don't actually know who's the better manager. Jurgen Klopp is probably the best manager, but it might be Chris Wilder. We don't know. We don't know. Until we saw Chris Wilder with those sort of players, with a central defender worth 75 million quid and so on and so forth, we wouldn't know. What I'm saying is, the money in the game doesn't make it a level playing field. It boosts some attributes and it propels teams maybe unfairly up the league. We knew Brian Clough was the best manager because more or less people had the same money. I believe they broke the world record for Trevor France as a striker, but by and large Liverpool had more money at that time. The European giants of the game had more money at that time. But Brian Clough was able to get players from the lower leagues and from everywhere else, and to take these players and make them European champions twice. As I say, because of the money in the game now, you don't really get to see that. It doesn't matter how good Chris Wilder is, he can't turn Sheffield United into European champions. And that's that really. But what I think now is I think we're going to start seeing some other managerial techniques come into play. Because at the moment, it doesn't matter who's got the best first touch, who's the best at dribbling, who's the best at crossing. It doesn't matter anymore. That money now is not on the pitch. When the season starts, finishes, whatever they're going to do, be it the old season, be it the new season, be it the season after, when football starts, what we're going to do is we are going to see man management come in to play like we probably haven't seen for quite a while. We're going to see preparation come into play. And we are going to see pre-season. Who can adapt best to the situation? Now, there's an article with David Moyes. I think David Moyes did an interview with Richard Keys, the hairy one, and Andy Gray. And he's basically said that his key job at the moment is communication rather than anything else. He believes that the players are all working hard, doing their individual training regimes, and he believes they'll be in a reasonable condition when they come back. But what he told them was, he said the biggest shift is in communication. Players are looking after the human touch. We talk about families, we talk about players wanting an update, and we're unable to give them that. So what he does is he speaks to them, he comforts them, he talks about football, he talks about where he sees the team going, and he just stays in contact and he keeps them in the loop and he keeps them involved. He went on to speak quite a lot about Kevin Nolan as well and about the things he's putting into practice. My point is, here is a man looking after his players. Now, I'm not suggesting nobody else is, by the way. But what we're seeing is a man that is adapting to the situation. David Moyes has said that before any football starts, he wants a month on the training pitch. Now, I've no doubt, whether he gets that month or whether he gets 3 weeks or whatever, that when that happens, he is going to be ultra prepared for this situation. He's going to have all these drills done, he's going to have all these tactics done, he's going to have everything. But it does bring into play an interesting situation, whereby we're in essence going to see a pre-season. So whoever is best prepared, whoever is best drilled, whoever has the best fitness, this is really going to come into play. We've seen this numerous times when you have a bad pre-season, when teams are not prepared. At the early season, there's a balancing out. How often do you see teams that have been promoted from the Championship will come up into the Premier League and they'll win their first few games? Because they're better? No. Because they have better technique? No. It's because they're motivated, because they're used to winning, and it's because they're generally fit. They've had a long season and their season has gone on longer. Now, this levels the playing field to a certain extent. Eventually the cream rises to the top. Absolutely. If you've got players like Kevin De Bruyne and all of these players in the team, naturally that's going to happen. But Fitness and mental fitness are going to come heavily into play. If you can keep a relatively happy ship, if you can keep your players happy, if you can keep your players fit, then you're going to be in an advantageous position. You're going to have a slight advantage on your rivals. There's going to be an evening of the playing field. Evening? That's what happens after afternoon, right? A levelling of the playing field, should I say. I also look at this and look at the fitness, because you better get your fitness right here. And the reason you better get your fitness right is because whatever happens, whether later on we play the remainder of the season or we start a new season, if we start a new season, it's going to be late, right? We're not going to start it at the same time. It's not going to be done as normal. If we finish this season, it's already late. Whatever happens, you are going to find games crammed into close proximity. That's the only way it's going to happen. That brings fitness into play. It also brings big squads into play, by the way. But this has been a good period for everybody to get their players fit. If you've had a player on a long-term injury, you take Manchester United, for instance. Manchester United, we're going to have to see out the season without Marcus Rashford. Not the case anymore. Harry Kane was not available at Tottenham. Not the case anymore. So squads play a part, but fitness plays a part. And preparation plays a part. Because I tell you now, if you're going to be playing 3 games a week, 2 games a week over a sustained period, and that's what they want to do. They want to do this little festival of football thing. They want to play it at whatever the FA's Centre of Excellence at Burton. They want to have a place set up in the Midlands, in the North, and in the South. And they play these round robin tournaments, get the season up, get the season finished. If they're going to do that, you're going to be playing back-to-back games. Do not rule out, by game 2, people are starting to break down. You're going to see a massive rotation of squad. You're going to see injuries. If you're not prepared, if you've not done your training properly, then you're going to find yourself at a disadvantage. So I do think that where we are now really plays into the hands of whichever manager has addressed the situation. Not the old managerial situation, the one now. The manager who has best adapted and thought, well, this is not normal. This is not the normal football. Now we're in something different. Now we're in different times. I need a different set of qualities to get the best from my team, and I need to adapt to the fact that we are in a crisis. And from what I've seen and from what I've heard, David Moyes seems to know exactly the situation he's in.